if I tell you that smart procurement is not about buying more, but about buying right. Would you agree with me? I'm sure most of you would. And yet, after 4 years as a consultant at Odoo, I've noticed something striking. Many businesses do not really have a smart replenishment strategy. Why? Because replenishment is not simple. Think about it just for a second. When stock is running low, there are many ways to replenish, and it's not always easy to find which solution fits the best. On top of that, many businesses believe they have to stick to a single method for all their products, where in reality combining different strategies is far more efficient. The truth is, having a smart replenishment strategy is crucial. It's what allows businesses to reduce costs and delays, to maximize sales, and in the end, keep their customer happy. Hello everyone. My name is Colleen, and today I will walk you through the replenishment strategies in Odoo, their advantages, their limitations, how to use them, as well as a new feature in Odoo 19. But before we dive in, let me tell you a little story. Last summer, I went on holiday in France. I stayed in a tiny house and I get to know its owner, John. John runs a holiday village made of tiny houses, and he also sells and manufactures and sells it to both private and professional customers. When we discussed, he shared how managing his stock has become a real challenge between rising costs of raw materials, supply delay, as well as unpredictable demand. I decided to help him set up a smart replenishment strategy in Odoo, and today I want to share with you a part of what we built together. To build this smart strategy, we mix different processes. First of all, the make to order, also known as MTO. Then the reordering rule that can be either automatic or manual with a replenishment report. And lastly, the manual purchases that you just saw with Gauthier. Let's directly dive in the database of John. So here we are in the Odoo database, and the first thing we'll do is check the products. So here we can see the product and we have the tiny house. We can see that this product is manufactured, it has a bill of materials, and we see all the products needed to manufacture the tiny house. As manufacturing a tiny house is quite expensive, and John does not have a lot of storage capacity in his warehouse, we will only manufacture it when we have a need. So when we sell, we will manufacture a tiny house. For that, we will use the make-to-order technique. How to use this technique in Odoo? First of all, you have to activate the settings in the configuration of the inventory application at the bottom. So we can activate the MTO settings. And then the only thing we will need to do is go back on our tiny house product, and in the inventory tab, select replenishment order. If you already know Odoo, you might notice that here we do not have anymore the buy or manufacture route. Why? Because Odoo 19 is smarter. No, because we have a bill of material, Odoo knows that this product will be manufactured, and I do not need anymore to select the manufacture route. So let's see how it looks like in real life when John has a new sale order. So we can go in the sales application, and John just got a call from a client that is willing to buy a tiny house. So here we have Daphne that is willing to buy one tiny house for a price of 15,000 euros, and she would like to be delivered in 3 weeks from now, on the 9th of October. I can simply confirm my quotation, and here automatically a manufacturing order is created with all the products needed and the required quantities. So first of all, as a summary, we'll use the MTO technique when we do not want to keep any stock for different reasons, whether it's because we have expensive products or limited storage capacities in our warehouse, or because it's tailor-made product based on the client needs. Moreover, really important is that the lead time should be acceptable by the client. In the case of a tiny house, it's okay if I order a tiny house today, I will not wait to receive my tiny house tomorrow. If we go back to our database and the manufacturing order for the tiny house, we can see that we need different products. For instance, for the wood planks and the metal roofing sheets, these products are quite volatile in terms of price and supply delays. When implementing Odoo, John was really afraid that he would run out of this product and also that it would increase its cost and in the end the sales price of the tiny house because it could not negotiate a good price. To avoid this, we decided to go on with the purchase agreements. So how can we create purchase agreements in Odoo? We can simply go in the purchase application here and create a new purchase agreement. You can see that I already have a purchase agreement for my meter roofing sheet with my vendor Premium Steel, and I will create a new purchase agreement here. For my wood planks, my vendor is Alpine. I will add my wood planks here, and I agreed on buying a quantity of 5,000 pallets of wood planks over the year. So here, even if I store it in square meter, I will buy it in pallets, so I can create a new unit of measures, pallets of wood planks. I edited it in one pallet. I have 10 square meter of wood planks. And I will buy this for 300 euros. I can confirm my purchase agreement, and if I go on my product here, Odoo automatically added the vendor, the correct unit of measure, as well as the unit price. As the wood planks and the metal roofing sheets are really important for my business, of course I cannot manufacture a tiny house without wood. I never want to run out of stock. So for that, we will set up reordering rules. I will create a new reordering rule here, and I will let the trigger in automatic. So why an automatic trigger? It's because I know my price, I know my supplier, I will always buy from the same supplier because I have the purchase agreement, so I can keep it in automatic. And I want to reorder when I reach the minimum level of 150 units, and I want to replenish maximum 300 square meter because my warehouse is not so big, so I cannot store more. As you can notice here, we now display in light gray the information that Odoo will use in the backend to replenish automatically. So even if I didn't set the buy route or my vendor, Odoo still knows that this one will be used. Something new as well is that by default now the purchase unit of measure will be used as the multiple quantity for the reordering rule. So in this case, it's the pallet of wood planks. So let's see how it looks like in real life when John runs out of stock for the wood planks and the metal roofing sheets. Actually, John just received a big contract here, so he will create a new quotation, and we have Aqualand that is opening a new water park and willing to buy 10 tiny houses. So here they want to buy 10 tiny houses, and they would like to be delivered in 1 month from now. So on the 18th of October, I can simply confirm my quotation, and I have my manufacturing order that is created, that is planned for the 18th of October. And you can already notice that some products are not available anymore, such as my wood planks and metal roofing sheets. For these products, no problem. As I have an automatic reordering rule, Odoo automatically created 2 purchase orders, so for Alpine and Premium Steel. If we check the one from Alpine, we can see that we have to reorder 45 pallets of wood planks. Why 45? Because I always want to have 300 units in stock, and I already have an outgoing stock to manufacture all my tiny houses that are planned to be manufactured of 450. So 150 square meter missing plus 300 to reorder to the maximum stock, it's 450, so 45 pallets. As you can notice here, we also see the purchase agreement from which the purchase is coming here. I can simply confirm my request for quotation, my request for quotation for the metal roofing sheet, that's the exact same process. And if I go back in my manufacturing application, you can see here that these 2 products are now expected in 1 day and 3 days from now. So, to summarize, we'll use the automatic reordering rule only when we have a simple supply chain. What does it mean to have a simple supply chain? Is that we have no uncertainties in terms of price our suppliers. It will always be the same price, the same suppliers. We know in advance the lead time, and for it to be more robust, we can use the purchase agreement. So, let's go back in the database of John. And here you see that there are still some products that are not available. For instance, the windows, the paintings, or some electronical appliances. For this product, actually, John would like to keep a tight control over what he will buy from which supplier, at which price, and if he could compare the prices of suppliers and eventually get discounts. So, let's check together the window product here. If I check the purchase tab, you can see that I already have two different vendors in my vendor price list. Blue Horizon, that is selling one window for 150 euros, but with a delivery time of 10 days. And Clear Glass, that is selling the window for 200 euros, so a bit more expensive, but a shorter delivery time in case I'm really in a rush and I need to replenish fast through my product. However, as for the wood planks and the metal roofing sheet, having this product in stock is really important to manufacture my tiny house, even though I want to compare the prices and the suppliers. So for this, I will still create a reordering rule, but the difference is that the trigger will be manual. It's what will allow me to compare the prices or the supplier. And I always want to keep a minimum stock of 40, and I can store maximum 100 units. Again, you see in light gray all the information. You might be wondering why is Blue Horizon coming first. It's simply because in the purchase tab, Blue Horizon is the first one. If I set Clear Glass as the first one, no, Clear Glass is my default vendor. Okay, that's good, but then as with the manual trigger, Odoo is not creating by default purchase order when I reach my minimum stock level. So you might be wondering, but yes, how will John see when he has to replenish some product? Actually, it's quite easy. We can simply go in the inventory application, and we have the replenishment report that will really be your best friend to do a smart replenishment strategy. In here, you see everything you need to replenish at the moment, so the product that will run out of stock at some time. For instance, if we take the example of the fridge, we see that we have a forecasted stock of minus 11 because based on everything I need to manufacture, I will need 17 units, but I only have 4 on hand. And I always want to replenish to the maximum stock of 6. So 6 plus 11, I need to reorder 17. However, what is really important to note and different in Odoo 19 is that we are not in just-in-time anymore, which means that here, by default in this view, you see everything you need to replenish for the next year. So the time horizon is now at 265 days, so it will show you everything you need for the next year. However, let's say that John got a new sale order, again for Aqualand that is willing to expand the water park, and this time they would like to buy 5 tiny houses, but to be delivered in 6 months from now for the opening in spring, in March. I will confirm it. I still have my manufacturing order, but if I check my replenishment report, I now see that I need to replenish 22 fridges. However, keeping stock that you will only use in 6 months from now is not really efficient, depending on the business. In my case, I do not want to replenish something I will use in 6 months. What I could do is change here manually the time horizon to 30 days, and it will be updated, but I do not want to do that every time I check the replenishment report, so I can simply modify it in the settings of the inventory application. At the bottom, I can set the time horizon at 30 days by default. And if I check my replenishment report, it's now 30 days. I can of course change it and set 15 days. I want only to replenish for the next 15 days. Something else that is really interesting and powerful for John to help him replenish his business is the new replenishment information here. So for instance, let's take the windows. need to reorder 125. And if I check the information here, I see that as I selected clear glass as the first one, my vendor lead time is at 5 days. It means that the replenishment report will show me everything I need to replenish for the 23rd of September. But as we have a time horizon of 30 days, Odoo is showing us everything you need to replenish to receive for the 23rd of October. If I change the supplier and I set clear glass, I set it as a supplier, Blue Horizon, that has a lead time of 10 days. I now see that as the vendor lead time is 10 days, I see everything I need to replenish for the 28th plus 30 days for the 28th of October. But according to me, the most powerful tool here in Odoo 19 is the new deadline field. What is the deadline field? Actually, it shows you the last date at which you have to order to make sure you never run out of stock, below your minimum stock level. So let's take an example. For instance, for the oven, I see that at the moment my deadline date is on the 29th of September. If I check my replenishment, my forecasted stock here, I see that I want to replenish when I reach a minimum level of 2, and I currently have 6 units on hand. First, I have this manufacturing order number 10 that will use 2 units. It's good, I do not run below the minimum level. For the manufacturing order number 11, 2 again, I reach exactly the minimum level, but I do not fall under, so I do not need to replenish yet. But for the next manufacturing order, the 12, I have to use 1 fridge, and for this one, actually, I'm running below the minimum stock level of 2. This manufacturing order is planned on the 9th of October. It means that on the 9th of October, I will be below my minimum stock level. As I have for Comfort Home a delivery time of 10 days, 9th of October minus 10 days is the 29th of September. So based on this date, I need to order maximum on the 29th of September to receive it on the 9th of October and not run below my minimum stock level. Let's say I change my vendor and I will set Electra Home that has a shorter delivery lead time of 6 days. Here, my deadline changed, and with this vendor and this lead time, I can still wait until the 3rd of October to replenish. But I'm still on time, so I will choose, of course, the cheapest one. For my fridge, I'm still on time as well. The deadline is in 2 days, so I can choose my cheapest one. For the microwave, the deadline is 2 days, so I'm right on time to have the cheapest one. So I can set Home Tech as a supplier. For the painting, okay, I'm right on time as well. I can choose Color Wave as a supplier. And for my windows, I already did it. I set Blue Horizon, the cheapest one. I can now order everything at once. And if we check the purchase application, Odoo created 5 new requests for quotation. So I have my new request with the right quantities to reach my maximum stock level. I can simply select everything and confirm it in mass. Let's go back to our manufacturing application here. If we check the manufacturing order, we see that now all products are expected in the future. I will be on time to manufacture my tiny house, and I will just have to receive it now. So, as a summary, the manual reordering rule will be used for advanced stock management when we want to keep a tight control on the vendor, the prices, and compare it one another to have the best price and the best vendor. But let's go back to my holidays in France. When I was in the holiday village, in my tiny house, the daughter of John, Lina, had a small shop in which she was selling some pool and beach equipment to enjoy your best beach day. For this small shop that is only open during summer, she does not need a complex replenishment strategy as her father. She's only ordering once a month to one supplier. So let's go back in the database. And for Lina, actually, we will simply use the purchase application that you just saw with Gauthier before and do manual purchases. So we can select the supplier, FunSummer. In the catalog view, see everything we can buy from FunSummer. Here, as we buy once a month, we can replenish for the next 30 days. So here, for instance, the monthly demand is at 16 units. I already have 4 on hand, so I need to replenish 12 units. However, as summer is almost finished, I will not need as many products as I needed in August or July. So I will replenish based on the last 30 days, but 80% of the capacity. I can add it to the cart, go back to the quotation, and simply confirm my purchase order. So, for the manual purchase, just keep in mind that it will be used mainly for simple businesses that are doing big purchases on a regular basis, and the suggest feature is your best friend to guide you in the quantities you need to replenish. So, to sum up, I would say that as having a smart replenishment strategy is crucial for businesses, Odoo is offering you the best tool to take advantage of it, whether it's MCO, reordering rule, manual purchase, or as well the MPS that we didn't discuss in this talk, but I invite you to go to the talk of tomorrow to discuss more in depth the MPS feature. Thanks a lot for your attention, and I'm now available to answer your questions. Il reste 3 minutes pour les questions, mais il n'y en a pas? Okay. If you have no question, we can also meet at the inventory booth later. Il y a des questions?
Okay, so we have a first question. Can you show us the formula to compute suggested quantity in catalog product?
So, not sure I understood correctly the question, but do you mean the formula like... Okay, I will just cancel this, and I create a new... Not sure it's this, but here, the formula is simply like I take a look at what was sold during the last 30 days, because I already had sale order. I saw that on the last 30 days I sold 16 units. I want to replenish for the next 30 days, so same quantity, but at 80%. I already have 4 on hand, so I only need to replenish 9 to reach 13. So 80% of 16. Not sure it was the question, but otherwise you can come to me after.
All right, thank you very much. We have a next question about how can you establish a minimum order for a supplier that has multiple products?
Okay, do you want to mean to say that we have to buy for at least 300 euros or 300 quantities for a specific supplier? At the moment you cannot really block it, but you could set a warning on the partner to say, be careful for this supplier, you need to buy for at least 300 units for this product.
They say thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
We have another question, if we still have time, about does the replenish for option in the example 30 days take into account the lead time of the item, or only based on the monthly demand?
Do you mean in the suggest feature?
I think it's that, yeah.
Okay, no, here it's not taken into account the lead time, so it just takes what has been sold for the last 30 days.
Yeah, we still have another one that can be interesting. What's the difference between the purchase agreement and the purchase template?
Okay, purchase agreement is really to specify a specific quantity and a specific price, for instance, at which on which you agreed on the with your supplier. So, for instance, here you agreed on buying 2,000 quantities. Purchase template is more like if you know that you are doing the same order every month with exactly the same product, you will create a template that you can simply reuse. But it's a bit different in the case that here it's an agreement, and most of the time you will have a contract behind when you have a purchase agreement. A purchase agreement. Yeah.
All right. Maybe a next one, if you still have time. One last. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
for the last question,
Yeah.
how do I see the reach of a product to identify the items that we have too many on stock? So
Okay. Not sure. So the items that we have too many on stock.
I think yeah.
What do you mean by too many on stock? Because you can have like, I don't know, on the locations you could have a maximum stock that you can reach, and if you set, well, I didn't activate it here, but if on the location you have some rules based on what's the maximum stock you can have in this location, when you want to receive new products in this location, it will say, okay, no, it's full, move it to another location. So it could be also used as, I have too many products in stock. But here you will not see in the replenishment that you have, I don't know what it means for you, too many products. Is it like above the maximum level? I guess so. But you don't have it in the replenishment or in the stock report, but you could use the capacity on the storage location. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. Thanks a
Thank
lot, Colleen,
you.
for this